Another part of the Write More program is our organizers. We have several different organizers. One that all programs use is the Everyday Organizer. It's very simple, but to me it's one of the most important parts and steps in writing. So I was curious if any of y'all had any thoughts or ideas you'd want to share on that?
Yeah, one thing that stood out to me when looking through the teacher's guide is that not only do the students, it's an opportunity for them to organize each of their paragraphs, but also before they write, they actually talk their organizer out. So they'll start with their main idea, and that kind of gets them to speak out what their introduction is and what the point of the essay is.
Was that easy for them to figure out how to do it first?
To talk it out loud? Well, I did it for them first, so I modeled it, on the essay or the organizer that I completed. I think it's a lot easier than just starting to write. So, I mean, it may not have been that easy for them, but, once they saw me do it, I think it was just easy to see an essay come out verbally. So then they went through each paragraph, and then we actually created a box for the conclusion paragraph because it was easy for them to use that as well. But I thought it helped tremendously. Like if they were struggling with their essay, like I don't know how to start, I'll refer them back to what they verbally said 5 minutes before. Like, well, you told me out loud, and then they're like, oh yeah, I did, and they'll actually, then that might help them
start.
start.
Kids are realizing what writing is. They think writing is just sit down and you write. It's thinking through the idea and thinking through the story. And how should I start? And I just think that's teaching a child what it means to be a writer. And I think that's what writers do. They rewrite and they re-edit, but for some reason our children think that's a bad thing and don't enjoy doing that. And I think you can make it fun in lots of different ways. Were there anything, Rhonda, I know one of the things you enjoyed about the program was the organizers. Can you tell us how they helped or why you like organizers?
Well, I think like most teachers, when I was in college, I never took a class, or I don't even think there was one offered on how to teach writing to students. So you just kind of teach it the best you can, you wing it, you try to teach it from your own personal knowledge. Well, when you have struggling writers, you can't just tell them, you have to show them. And they want something in their hands. And the great thing about the Everyday Organizer or the 5-paragraph organizer was that when they have that sitting in front of them, and you tell them, begin with an opening sentence. And that's how I started with them. I give them a topic, love, say, for instance. And then I would say, come up with an opening sentence about love.
The teacher guide help you know how to
Right. I mean, it's like a step-by-step process. That teacher guide walks you through it. The Everyday Organizer helps the kids to have that hands-on stuff. And the kids were writing some amazing things after a while. I had one student who, after we had talked and focused on that opening sentence, I remember one day she made such a big deal about it. She came running up to my desk and, Miss Walsh, look, I want you to hear my opening sentence.
And that's high
And so
school,
she,
right?
so she was excited to share her opening sentence because she thought she had the best opening line for this essay that she was writing. And so even high schoolers want that pat on the back. They want that, that praise. And
They still need to learn how to write.
Oh,
I think they know by high school, they just don't all have it yet.
But they don't. They absolutely don't.
Right.
So we're starting from scratch, even in 10th grade. There are a 3-paragraph essay and a 5-paragraph essay. And what I do is I take the Everyday Organizer and I put a rubric right on the back of it. I take the 5-paragraph organizer, put the rubric right on the back of that one as well. And then students, as they're writing and preparing for their essays, they can have those handy so that they can jot down, get their ideas set on paper, and then be able to write it out exactly as they want it. So we're still using those.
I liked the graphic organizer a lot because I had tried to use other graphic organizers in the past, and I just felt like they were not as kid-friendly as the Write More organizer was. And it really showed the kids how to organize their ideas and then how to take those ideas and put it on paper in an essay type format.
And third grade, right?
Third grade, yes. But with my 5th grade, who I did not use the program with, I actually used the graphic organizer to help teach about the Revolutionary War because we're writing a compare and contrast essay on British soldiers and patriots. And so we used the graphic organizer, and I modeled for them how to organize an essay using that, and they were all about it. It was much, when I first mentioned the compare and contrast essay, they were a little panicky, but once I showed them how to do it, then they were on board, and they really had a great time with it. So I've been using it with grades that I already taught, using